Hey everyone, welcome back, y'all. We are back to go ahead and start budgeting for the third week of July. We've already closed out week number 2, and that literally will not even finish until this coming Friday. However, we're going to go ahead and continue to keep moving ahead. I do apologize. I will announce the winner for my mystery challenge giveaway tomorrow. I had some things that came up, wasn't feeling the best today, so I will take care of that tomorrow for all of you. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and jump in and do our weekly budget for week number 3. Y'all just saw my grocery haul. There really wasn't much to those groceries, and groceries are continuing to be problematic for a lot of people because of how much they're continuing to go up. So we are pulling quite a bit from our prepper pantry this week. We're doing a lot of fill-in items and things of that nature. And that's what you saw was pretty much a little mini filler in haul. So let's talk about this week's July for pay number 3. Again, we're working with $515 for this week. All bills are paid. Now on the first section, I have forgotten to mention something. I don't even know the price of it, and I need to wait till the kids are awake tomorrow to let you know where that book actually is. But I have a spelling book that is not here with me that I'm not going to be able to show you tonight, but I will show you in the future when I do a more in-depth situation on my kids' homework in their curriculum, because I have 2 homeschoolers at home and I have to homeschool them separately. On the most part, sometimes I can homeschool them together, but there are some individual subjects I need to do with Jessica versus what I need to do with Philip. So with that being said, the 2 charges that you're going to see here is not fixed income for expenses. These are just additional expenses I have this week alone. And as I've told you before, in the very first week of every month, that is when all of my fixed household expenses actually get paid. So weeks number 2, 3, and 4, I just use this little section as just my expense sheet for those weeks. So the homeschooling items that I bought, I did get some books that you'll see here in just a minute for $50 through Amazon. Now this isn't the total curriculum for my kids. This is approximately about half the curriculum. I will be purchasing more, but I have a new setup for school this year, and I'm working on making sure that they have their hours and things of that in. So when I get into the homeschooling aspect of showing you that video, I will get really in depth on how I set up my kids' homeschooling separately, because I have to teach on 2 separate levels even though they're in the same grade, and I have to teach subjects differently to each one of the kiddos depending on their capabilities. So I'll show you those here in a minute. That came from our homeschool sinking fund. So the SF you see beforehand, that means sinking fund. So that doesn't actually come from the $515 I have listed at the top. Also, I have another very large amount of $140, and that is for an Amazon 2022 Kindle. I do know that Prime Day is in the next 2 days for June 11th and June 12th. When you see this will be Prime Day, but y'all, the Kindles were not cheap enough for me to purchase. They were still pretty high price. So the Kindle that I'm getting, and actually should be here, I'm thinking tomorrow, is a Kindle 2022, and it is a factory recondition. I'm also getting a 2-year warranty, which it was not included. I had to add that on. So that is also coming from the sinking funds for homeschool. The third one that you'll end up seeing is the spelling book. I forgot to put it in there. It's a spelling and vocabulary book. English this year is going to be pretty heavy on my kiddos, so I will be putting that in at a later time. It does not affect the $515 that I have for this week to spend. So that $190 at the bottom, you'll see it'll go up even more because of the spelling book. I believe it's going to go up by another $10 if I remember right. I think the spelling book was in the $9 to $11 range, so somewhere within that. But that's all coming out of sinking funds. It's not being touched out of $515 that I have for this week. Groceries is going to be an exciting situation this week. I am not doing groceries for the third week of July. We are going to pull off preps. I am going to go back to making homemade bread if and when needed. I will make things such as homemade pancakes out of homemade pancake mix and things of that nature. We still have quite a few things down in our basement freezers that we need to continue to pull out. I'm hoping not to use any grocery money at all because I did not actually give myself any grocery money. If I have to purchase something and I really have to do it because I don't have it in my preps, then I will actually probably pull it from my budgeting buffer that I have here as well, because I'm starting to build up quite the buffer. I am going to allot myself $10 towards gas, which is AKA Uber for us, and I'm continuing to roll that money over. If I don't use it, it just continues to get larger and larger due to the fact of if I have to take a trip that's going to cost me a little bit more in the future, I should have the funding source for that. So I do have that allocated for that. Buffer, I'm allocating 20, which give me a total of 30. Again, we will not be doing a grocery haul for the third week of July. I may do a prepper haul if that's the case. I am working on a sheet right now where my preps are going to be 1 week. I'm going to stockpile meat. The second week, I'm going to do dry goods. The third week, I am going to do canned goods. And the fourth week, I'm going to probably try to do some healthcare type items and things of that nature. But that will come out of my sinking funds for preps. It will not come out of this $515. So just a heads up on that. If you do see any prepping items coming your way, it is not going to be out of the $515. Up here, up to the right hand side, I have my books over here for the kiddos. Over here to this side, I do have our sinking funds over here. Again, we are doing very minimal on sinking funds right now because we are pulling from sinking funds to help us use things such as the homeschooling all came from a sinking fund instead of our weekly budget. So I have annual vet. I'm going to go ahead and throw 20 at annual vet here shortly. I am going to have to raise that because I only have a little over, right about a year and a half or so to come up with the full funding I need for all 3 of my Chihuahuas. They are fully funded for 2024. But I'm funding them right now for 2025. So pretty soon I'm going to probably start raising that up a little bit so I can feel a little bit more comfortable. ER Vet is going to get $10 in case I need to take any of the Chihuahuas to the vet. Vet Care is going to get another $10. And I did lower that this week. It's back down to 10, but I do have plenty of money in there to make sure that the next set of Jaya's medication for her phenobarbital come out. I just purchased it. I just received that in the mail the other day. So she's got a whole month of July covered, all the way through August, all the way through September 10th. I won't have to purchase it until right about the 10th of September. So with that being said, we have that. The 6 color dot challenge, which I have designed, is getting $20. And do remember, I believe I owe $1 or $2 from last week. So out of that 20, I will be taking what I owe from last week, putting it into the envelope that I owe it, and then using the rest of the money for the sinking funds that I am funding those 6 different categories. So you'll be seeing that come up this week. Total for that is $60, and $60 is what I was expecting to spend. Let's talk about the exciting part down here, y'all. And I'm hoping you can see this on the page. I do know that when it shows the contrast between the dark table and the light colored pages, for me it looks like you guys can see it perfectly, but sometimes online it's like off to the side a little bit, so I'm just going to try to move it over here a little bit so I can show you. But the exciting news here is my consolidation loan, y'all. I've already put $25 in the first week of July that I had left over for grocery money, and I threw it at the consolidation loan. This week I had $80 left over in grocery money, y'all, like 80 bucks. It was a small haul. $45 doesn't get you much, as you noticed with that very super less than 5-minute video haul that I have. But there really wasn't much to talk about in that video because there really wasn't much on the counter. But with that being said, we had that taken care of. Now I am preparing for this week, at the end of this week, to be able to have $425 out of the $515 that I've allocated for this week to go towards my actual loan. So not only did I do 25 the first week, 80 the second week, which we're still in the second week, y'all. The third week don't even start until Saturday. But for the third week, I am expecting to put $425 into my consolidation loan. I am really, really trying to squeeze us. We still have some things downstairs, such as chick patties that the kids like. We do have some roast downstairs. We've got chicken. I just bought boneless, skinless chicken for less than $2.30 per pound. I'm thinking at Aldi the reason it was this low this week was because of the 4th of July. Whatever was left over is probably reduced. It didn't have a reduced sticker on that I could figure out or anything of that nature. But I would really like it to be back down to that price, I'll be honest. I did buy a 3-roll, a pound of ground beef. It was 3 pounds. It was a roll. Now, one thing I'm thinking about doing, y'all, when I was talking to my daughter earlier tonight, my daughter's Tori. She's 24 years old in Oklahoma. That's my oldest. She is working on some stickers that I will be selling in my Etsy shop soon. I'm super excited. I still got to get the fast food scratchers up. I apologize. We have just been flat crazy all over the house here and getting ready for school and things of that nature. But I'm thinking about maybe trying to buy the ground beef in the beef patties, like when they make the hamburger patties and put them frozen. I found out for $12 I could get 3 pounds of beef patties in the frozen section. If I do that, that's cheaper than buying it when it's already pre-ground up and put into a package for you. So that may be a change that might be able to save me, you, and anyone else a couple of extra bucks. If you don't want to make hamburgers at night, just thaw those patties out. They're already thawed out, y'all. It's ground hamburger just in the shape of a patty. And what you can do is you can mince that up and use it for a regular hamburger, because that's all it is. It's a hamburger patty in the shape of a patty, frozen and thawed out. It's ground beef, and it's less than buying it in the package over in the frozen section. At least in my area it is. Really super thing that I wanted to also tell you about real quick before I show you these books is eggs in my area in Kansas City, Missouri, off of Highway 40, which is where my closest Walmart is to me. They have a pack of eggs, 60 count, now is at $5. When I bought mine last time, they were at $6.64, and they are now down to $5. I'm super duper excited to keep seeing eggs drop. So just wanted to go ahead and share that up with you real quick. And then now we are going to go ahead and get into our books really quick. So do I have the information for the books? I don't know if I have the information for the books. Did I keep information for the books over here? Y'all, we may have to wing it because my kids aren't here and they're not going to read it to me. First book I want to show you right here is a book that we purchased last year. And yes, I have the information. Sorry about that. First book that I have here was from last year. We are going to continue to use this all the way through. My 2 homeschoolers are 8th graders, and I have to teach Jesse on a different level than I teach Philip for certain reasons. Jesse's on a IEP. I was an IEP and 504 specialist as well, so I know how to prepare her IEP. She was on an IEP at school, and they were out of compliance, I'll be real honest. So I had to take her way back and start all over again with her. So with that being said, went ahead and took care of that situation. And this book here is what you're seeing. Again, we have already purchased this. I purchased it last year. It goes everything from the Stone Age to current technology, y'all. I bought this history book for $22, I think is what it was. When I purchased it, it was used, but it was in great condition. So I decided to go ahead and purchase this. Now, there are workbooks I do decide to purchase new, but this is filled with so much information. We pick out the topics that we want to talk about in history. I can tell you right now, currently we will be working through the Roman period and things of that nature. I don't go through as much stuff as I do in school because I find other things much more beneficial for my children than maybe what the school system does. And I do teach my kids some things that the school system won't teach their students and things of that nature. And I do allow my kids to read certain books that the school district won't let them do. And I think it's a shame that they've put really a lot of restrictions on some really good history material, but in my case, I don't. I also have a master's in education, just for everybody's knowledge. All right, this first book, I'm hoping they're in order, so I apologize. I'm crossing my fingers they are. This should be a math book, and this should be a 8th grade math book. And this will be for my son, Philip. Jessica is only in 4th grade math, even though she's in 8th grade. Jessica has an IQ of 75, and we have to tailor her needs to her. So she's currently working through a 4th grade math book. I do have 5th grade. I purchased 5th grade last year thinking she'd be in 5th grade, but we're moving a little slower in some areas. So all is okay. I'm able to do one-on-one with her. So she still has her 4th grade math book, and last year I bought the 5th grade math book. So she will not need a math book for this year. But this is Philip's math book. It's grade 7. I apologize. It should be grade 7. I'm hoping it's grade 7. If it's grade 8, I'm in trouble. Grade 7. I'm hoping this is grade 7. I have grade 8 over here. I'll check that out. If it's grade 8, then I'll have to change it back out for grade 7, but it should be grade 7 for my son. Now, he is in 8th grade, but he jumped up a grade because he has got a pretty significant IQ. He is in the top 15% of the United States in testing, and he tested that way in school. So I increased his grade level, but I'm not going to increase his math because you need to have the building blocks of math in order to make sure you understand all of the functions and all the way that math is taught and all of the situations that go into math. So he is still in 7th grade math. Once he finishes that, I will put him into 8th grade math. And if he finishes early, then we start 8th grade math early. Next one is a reading book. The reading book is for Jessica. Now, just to break it down for you, Jessie is going to be doing a lot of English, and she's going to be doing a lot of math, where Philip is going to do math and science. This is going to be for the first 6 months of the year. The second 6 months of the year, we're going to flip. Jessie is going to do a lot of science and social studies or history. Philip will be doing history with her, and then Philip will be doing English instead of math. So I will be rotating them along with all of their prerequisites that they need to have here, including all their curriculars as well that we'll be working on. But that will be in a later video, and it will be a pretty detailed and length video. So after the reading book, Jessie has a language book as well. And this should be the core language book, which is the whole language book they need. Again, I told you English is heavy this year. We have a writing book as well. So these books that I'm showing you in English right now is actually going to be for the kiddos to do for this rotation for Jessica, and then Philip will be doing his rotation next after that. I do have 2 different types of different books for the kiddos as well. Here is another book. You'll have reading and the writing type, writing styles and things like that. Now the spelling words will be coming. I apologize, I don't have that book here, and the kids are asleep right now. It's literally 1 o'clock in the morning. So I do have another English book from a different company. I usually use Spectrum, but this is Argo Prep. I am going to go through this, and I may be putting Philip into Argo Prep, but if I don't like this book, I can send it back and get another Spectrum book that is the language arts. And then Philip will end up with the other English ones as well. He just will go into the second semester, where Jessica is doing hers in the first semester, because I do really need to work one-on-one with her. And Philip is pretty easy to work by himself. So with that being said, if he needs my help in English, he will come and get me. So it is going to be a very detailed, in-depth English year. I want to teach them certain skills. I want to teach them MLA writing. I want to teach them the different types of writing styles, how to cite their work, because they will be doing a lot of research. They will be doing research for science and history and things of that nature, and they need to learn how to write proper papers. Not only with that, there's other things that are involved into that, and we'll get into that into the homeschooling video. But this book was bought last year, just so y'all know. And it's a great book, because I don't want to have to buy a history book year after year after year. Science books, you kind of have to do that. In English, you really need to do that, and so with math. But if you can get a history book that goes from the beginning of time all the way to current periods, then you can come back in here once again, and you can pick out whatever subject you want to learn about. You can read about it. You can have the kids do research on it. Y'all, utilize things like YouTube, because you can find really good material on YouTube for documentaries. Also on Netflix, they have a Rome series, and it doesn't go but over the first couple of Roman empires, but I want emperors, but I want them to be able to see that as well. And also make sure you're utilizing the computer to pull up free worksheets. You don't have to pay for every single worksheet that you print out. There are tons and tons of sites that allow you to print out worksheets for free on different topics and subjects that you're working on. So that's another way that I do that. I do not allow my children to go into a one box and done curriculum, because my kids are learning on different levels. They are also learning on different skill sets, and they're going to learn different information. They may be having the same books, but they're going to have to learn the information, but one grasps the information one way, the other one grasps the information the other way. They're going to be doing a lot of reading. The Kindle is going to be coming in shortly, so we'll have the Kindle reader. My son also was gifted almost $200 worth of hardback quantum physics and science books, because he's really big into that. He does want to be the head of robotics at NASA. He wants to be the head engineer over there. So that is hopefully his life goal, he says, and he's hoping that he can do it. And so he's really big into science. So that's some of his other prereqs. Some of his electives are also going to be in science, because it's going to be additional sciences that he's working on: quantum physics, quantum math, things of that nature. When I do my more in-depth video, a breakdown of the homework, then I will show you the full curriculum. I will show you how I score things, how I register things, and his extracurricular activities when it comes to electives and things of that nature. A lot of his is going to lean towards a lot of science and a lot of history. Even though he's got this, it's going to be additional. There will be some hands-on items that I will purchase that they'll be able to go ahead and get their hands involved in and things of that nature, and build projects and things of that sort. So that is what I have for you. And again, y'all, I think it's going to be a pretty nicely going budget for July number 3. It's going to be definitely a happy ending for us to not even finish out strong yet. We're not even all the way through. We've spent, if all this goes through the proper way with the consolidation loan, we will have spent almost additional 500 and some odd dollars now, because I haven't rounded it up and I haven't calculated all of it. It's 25 plus 80 plus the 425. So if you want to go ahead and calculate that, that's over 500. That's on top of the regular payment of 475 I make every month, and on top of the snowball payment of 300. Y'all, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, but we're super, super excited. So I'm hoping that week 4 will end us as strong as we're ending right now on week 2 with the 80, and then hopefully ending on this coming Friday. We can pull from preps. That won't be a problem. We will pull tight if we need to. We've got plenty of food still in stock. I've got buckets full of dry food. I've got beans. I've got black beans, red beans, pinto beans. I've got buckets and buckets and buckets of rice if we need it. Everything's already pre-filled in the kitchen. I go to the buckets and I dump that back into my containers if and when needed. I rotate my canned goods and things from downstairs to upstairs. So we have plenty of food to keep us in stock, definitely for this week, and we're not going to do without. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions concerning either my budget here for week number 3 or the books that I showed you, if you're interested in any of the books, I can give you the direct links to them. I am not an Amazon affiliate. As I always tell you, I will never be an Amazon affiliate, because they allow you to be pretty much tracked up for the next 72 hours if you click on an affiliate link, and I don't appreciate that. For others, for me, I don't care. They can track me all they want, but some people do not feel the need to be tracked by Amazon or any other company and see what you've been buying and things of that nature. But I can give you the direct link and you can purchase any of the books that I showed today. So we'll catch you in the next video. Have a wonderful night, and we are out.